Okay, so we are doing surface area and nets, and this is the error analysis piece. So special shout out to Cody. Cody, don't worry about this. Surface and area and nets can be hard, and just trying to see them is not easy. Hopefully you were able to get that little link that I sent to your mom, and maybe you can cut them out on paper and see how they work. If you don't, just, take a deep breath. It's all good. We'll figure this out, and you can move on. So we're going to do the error analysis page, and we'll do this one together, you guys. So here we go. We're going to make sure that these answers are correct. Oof, ow, that's weird. It got awfully bright, didn't it? Okay, so starting with this one, we're going to take a look at the surface area and make sure that this surface area number is correct. All right, so let's count what we have first. We have 1 square, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So up here, it says 6 times 6, which is correct. We do want 6 times 6. That would be this area. So this part is right. And then it's telling us 4 of these triangles, and it's saying 4 of 6 times 8. That is not correct, because even though the base is 6 and the height is 8, we have to take half of the base times the height. So really, to make this correct, we should say 4 times 3. 4 of 3 times 8. So when we look at this, we are looking at 6 times 6, which is 36, plus 4 groups of 3 times 8. So we can use our calculator. 3 times 8 is, we know that one. Okay, so 3 times 8 is 24. So we want 4 groups of that. So we're going to write 4 groups of 24. Okay, so 24 times 4 is 96. All right, so here we have 36 plus 96. That's my dog chewing in the background. She's going to eat that Kong sooner or later, and then we won't have one left. That's okay. All right, so 36 plus 96, 132. Makes a big, big difference. If you don't count the triangles the way that they should be, you end up with a huge number like 228, which isn't correct, 228. It should be 132 square centimeters. Okay, let's look at number 2. All of a sudden the lighting has gotten really funky in here. I think it's because it's raining outside, and that just does all kinds of ickiness to the window to the left of me. All right, so find the surface area of the figure represented by the net. Will do. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 rectangles. Rectangles are the area of a rectangle can be found by multiplying the length times the width. So 7 5/10 times 5, which they've done right here. So there's 3 of them, which they are right. And then here we have a triangle. We have 2 triangles. The base of these triangles is each 5, and the height is 4 for each as well. So we do have 2, and we would say 5 times 4. However, we need half of the base times the height. So we can take half of the base, or we can take half of the height. And in this case, it's easier if we take half the height. So we are going to make this into a 2. So really what we're looking at is 3 groups of 7 5/10 times 5. I'm going to scoot this over here a little bit. So we have 3 groups of whatever 7 5/10 times 5 is. So I'll figure that out. 7 5/10 times 5, 37 5/10. Okay. Plus 2 groups of 5 times 2, which is 10. Okay, so let's figure this out again. Then what is 3 groups of 37 5/10? So we're going to put that in our calculator. Times 3. So that is 112 5/10 plus 2 times 10, which is 20. So we have 112 and 5/10 plus 20, which makes 122 and 5/10 square feet. It's those triangles. We got to watch for those triangles. They'll really get you if you don't pay attention to them. Okay. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, find the surface area of the figure represented by the net. Same thing. Here we have 6 and 4/10 feet. This is a perfect square. So we've got 6 and 4/10 by 6 and 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So they have this part set up, but what do we want to do? We do not want to add. This really should be multiplying. So just make this a big old multiplication dot. And then of course we're not going to get 76 and 8/10. We're going to get something much bigger. So let's find out what we get. So we're going to have 6 times 6 and 4/10 times 6 and 4/10, which gives us 40 and 96/100. All right. So when we multiply 40 and 96/100 by 6, we get 245 and 76/100 square feet. Okay. Number 4. Oh, that's kind of funky looking, huh? There we go. Okay, number 4. I hope this square is not there. Oh, there we go. I don't know. Hope that square, maybe that square was making the lighting funny. I don't know if you guys could see it, but it was on my side. So, okay, we're going to look at the surface area of this figure. This, because there's only one measurement, this tells me that this is a perfect cube, which means every single side here is 5 and 5/10 times 5 and 5/10. They're telling us there are 4 sides. There are not 4 sides. How do I know? Because if I were to draw this again, sort of ant tracks there, I'm going to see that I have one on the top and one on the bottom. So 1, 2. Then I have this one, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are actually 6 sides. So 6 times 5 and 5/10 squared. That simply means we're going to take 5 and 5/10 times 5 and 5/10. That would be the length times the width of each side. So to figure this out, I'm going to say 6 times. What is this? We have to do exponents first. So you can use a fancy calculator, or you can just say 5 and 5/10 times 5 and 5/10. And we get 30 and 25/100. So when we multiply that times 6, we got 181 and 5/10 square inches. Okay. Number 5. All right. It is a square pyramid, like a tent. And I can draw myself what I need to know. So it's going to go like this. Okay. That means I'm going to have I'm going to have 4 walls to my tent, which means I'm going to have 4 sides here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to have a square on the bottom. So it looks like my bottom is 16 by 16. So I have one of those. So I'm going to have 16 squared plus. Now I need to figure out what each one of these triangles is. And we can use half as 5/10. That's what they did here. They did half of 16 times 20. So that is correct, 16 times 20. And there are 4 of them. So this part is right. What they forgot is the base or the bottom of their tent. So we'll say 4 times 5/10 times 16 times 20. Okay, so let's go back over here and figure what this is. So 16 squared is 16 times 16 equals 256 plus 4 times. We're going to put all of this into our calculator. We can do that all at once. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 16 times 20 equals, and I get 160. Okay. So now I have 256 plus, I need to know what 4 groups of 160 is. So 160 times 4, which is 640. And when I add that to 256, my answer is 896 square inches. All right, last one. The last one is a series of rectangles and squares. And I know that because they've given me this side as 8, and they've given me the height, or the length, if you want, of 18. So this up here is going to be 8 squared, and we're going to have it twice. We're going to have it once on the top and once on the bottom. So again, we can draw our line. So we need this down here. This is 8 squared as well. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So we're going to have 8 squared, 2 of those, plus this is going to be 18 by 8. So we're going to have 4 of those. So 4 times 18 times 8. So they did 18 times 8 times 6. I have no idea where they got that, except maybe there are 6 sides. And not all the sides are the same, so that's not going to work. Okay, so let's figure this out. We're going to have 2 times 8 times 8. So 2 times 64 plus 4 times 18 times 8, which is 144. Okay, so 2 times 64 that's 128 plus 4 times 144 is 576. So we'll add those two together. And we get 704 square feet. Okay, that is the end of surface area and nets, and we will start a new unit or a new set of lessons tomorrow. Stay safe, be kind to one another, and I will catch you guys later.